What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Lisk. I'm not a fan. I don't think this is a quality investment. I think the tech's good, and I think the team have done something quite clever in terms of the way that they've approached development for Lisk. But I don't see success in its future. I think there's a lot better opportunities out there for profit. So I'm going to explain exactly why. Also, there's been a lot of there's been some interesting statements come out by Kevin O'Leary, who I believe is known as Mr. Wonderful on like TV celeb slash entrepreneur slash billionaire or millionaire about FTX. So I want to take a look at what he said about that as well, because it just shows how corrupt some individuals are. Before I get into that, though, if you are new to the channel, you don't know me, and you don't know why you should listen to me, even if you should. But these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about on this channel, and they're the first 26 coins I actually owned when I made the channel. Had you put in $100 into those coins when I released videos about them, you could have made about 7.8k, 7.9k. But that's if you'd never sold them, if you'd literally bought them and ignored them for 2 years when they were flying up, which is basically the worst possible thing you could have done. If you'd done the right thing and sell these coins off last year when the markets absolutely flew like I did, you could have made 123k. It's a massive, massive, massive difference. Remember, buy low, sell high, right? As much as that is crappy advice, because it's not, it's just a generic advice. But I don't own these anymore. If you want to see the coins I own, you can go to copymycrypto.com. On that site, I share my entire portfolio. I let the members know anytime I'm buying a coin or selling a coin. And guys, I've been in this market for 8 years. I've been deep diving them. Set up the channel a couple of years ago. I've been deep diving cryptos for ages. Whenever I see one that has strong fundamentals, I get in on it. Like Phantom. Phantom's the only Udemy course I've made in my entire life. I said this would 100x at least, and it did a 677x. So if you'd have put $2,000 into Phantom when I did the video, when I did the Udemy course, and you'd sold, you could have made 1.3 million. I will find another Phantom. When I do, I'm going to get in on it. I'm going to tell the members about it. I'm going to tell them what percentage of my portfolio it will reflect, and people can copy that and make the same gains if they want. It's that simple. And the link, guys, is in the description. Right, Lisk. Market cap of 100 million. Okay, so it's not rubbish by any stretch of the imagination. But look, their goal is to onboard as many users as possible into crypto and Web3 by offering an accessible blockchain application platform. And that's it. They're an app platform. And they're industry leading because they use JavaScript SDKs. Now, very, 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 very few cryptos out there use JavaScript for coding at all. And JavaScript's like the most popular coding language in the world, or certainly in the top 2 or 3. By creating what they have, it enables anyone that is a JavaScript developer to get into crypto. So it's a very clever workaround for getting developers to start participating in crypto, because rather than having to learn a new coding language, they can use the one that they're most familiar with, that pretty much every developer in the world is familiar with. So the Lisk blockchain app platform should allow interoperability between applications, all application-specific blockchains built with Lisk. So that simply means that it can land on whichever blockchain that you want if you built with Lisk. So users will be able to use DeFi, NFT, or Metaverse blockchain applications on Lisk that are compatible with other blockchains. Now, this is managed by the Lisk Foundation, which is a non-profit entity in Switzerland. The team of experts that specialise in law and finance, ensure the proper handling of funds and regulatory compliance under the laws within Switzerland. Their products are developed by Lightcurve GmbH, which is a Berlin-based blockchain studio. So they're spread worldwide. They've got, like I said, they're JavaScript specific, which actually is about as smart as you can get in terms of creating a simple entry point for any new developers. As I've said, otherwise developers have to go out there and learn a whole new coding language, and that is a lot of effort, and many developers won't. But a lot of those developers that are capable with JavaScript can just jump onto Lisk and start getting involved. So it reduces the barrier to entry for a lot of developers. That's a great thing. Really can't knock that. They also have a grant program. I do like a grant program. And you can receive up to 60,000 CHF grant to expand their ecosystem with groundbreaking blockchain use cases. Again, nice sign. But when you actually see all the apps, really underwhelming. Really underwhelming for me. And the reason I say that, because you can see there's some social media NFT platforms, there's some educational platforms, there's a DAO here and there, there's more NFT platforms, game here and there. But look, I mean that is it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all grant program. They've all been issued by grant programs as well. But the rest of Lisk's interactions, or the rest of Lisk's ecosystem effectively, is simply where you can buy it. Now Lisk, to put into context, guys, has been up and running since before the previous bull cycle in 2016. So it has been up and running for over 6 years now. I expect it to be further along. It is way behind where it should be. That is of concern to me. If in 6 years you haven't really pushed or grown or developed beyond what you've built, and this was effectively built. Like, I know that the full platform released this year effectively, but they should have been further along, is my honest opinion. They should have been further along by this point. And again, I am not knocking for a second the tech. I think it's genius to introduce it as JavaScript, because I think that gives so many people, so many developers around the world, an easy into crypto. And that's a wonderful thing. That's a great thing. That's a phenomenal idea. And maybe that in and of itself is enough to carry it and make it absolutely rocket. But the ecosystem is hugely underwhelming, given that they've been up and running for 6 years. There are blockchains left, right, and center that have been out for a year that have got a way bigger ecosystem, a way better ecosystem. That, to me, is the concern. Now, one, again, positive, I suppose, is their developer activity. The developer activity has always been pretty damn good. That is always a good sign to me. And that is a counter argument to what I'm saying, which is I don't think this is a great investment. I really don't. But this is from August 2020. So if we look at the top projects based on developer activity now, I don't think Lisk comes close. I mean, look at this. Zeus Shield. Does anyone remember that? God, takes me back. But this is it. So I'm concerned for the fact that there has not been true growth for these. The only hope for me for Lisk is that the fact, if they do effective marketing and combine that with developer growth, then they've got a shot of doing something good. But right now, for me, I'm not convinced that it's going to be a good investment. And I'll also point out as well, like the chart, the long-term chart looks terrible. It hit decent heights in that ICO bull run, 2018 bull run, 2017-18. Last year didn't really do much comparatively to its first bull cycle. And you would hope it could feasibly make a new high, or at least, more than half, which it didn't even do. So reservations on Lisk, massive reservations on Lisk long term, but the JavaScript implementation could be enough to save it. I will say that. So I may be wrong, because JavaScript every developer can use. So it's an and an ahhing kind of one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like the video, and if you are a returning viewer, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get more subscribers. That does a lot for the channel. It means I can start getting tons of founders on projects, having interviews with them. And look, my videos will make you money. So if you subscribe, you won't miss a video that could feasibly make you some good money. And if you want to see the coins I own, go to copymycrypto.com. On the site, I share everything I do, every coin I buy, every coin I sell in real time. I talk about the markets on a daily basis, if that's of any interest to you. And also, I've got a history of success that can be seen on the site and in the spreadsheet. I get in on cryptos when I think they're solid and when I think they're going to make massive gains, like Phantom. And when I find the next Phantom, I'm going to go on the site and tell the members. I'm not going to do a course or go on about it on YouTube. I'm simply going to make sure my members are aware and know what percentage of my holdings that will reflect. And if you want to copy along, you can. It's that simple. The link, guys, is in the description. And FTX. So, Mr. Shark Tank himself, Kevin O'Leary, says that it's FTX was the safest place on earth to keep your money after FTX crash. So, FTX filed for bankruptcy not that long ago, we all know. Millions of funds vanished from the firm shortly after the founder resigned. Supposed hack. O'Leary revealed on TikTok that despite having multiple citizenships, which allows him to disperse his earnings at his discretion, he is choosing to keep his assets in Canada with BitBuy, which is a broker-dealer attached to the WonderFi crypto exchange. WonderFi is regulated by the Ontario Securities Exchange, and O'Leary is a shareholder in its First Ledger Corp. Of course he is. He says BitBuy, not FTX, sorry. BitBuy is the most advanced regulatory environment right now that I can find. In my opinion, it's the safest place on earth to put assets. Maybe he's right. But there is a lot of dodgy stuff about Mr. O'Leary. And it is worth bearing in mind that there has been participation in a ton of different weird weird ventures, let's call them. And look, Sam Bankman-Fried has obviously stolen a lot of funds. It's not even a question at this point, is it? Yeah. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. But guys, if you are, I mean, I think it's the constant thing that we have to reiterate as as influencers or whatever is, that's such a wanky word. I hate the word influence. But if your funds are on exchanges, get them off. They're not safe. Nothing's too big to crash. Binance can crash. I don't think it's likely, but it can. Lehman Brothers crashed. What was the massive oil energy company that crashed as well? Oh God, tip of the tongue. Can't remember. Companies fail. Businesses fail. Things fail. You cannot trust other people with your funds. FTX screwed a lot of people over. Celsius this year screwed a lot of people over. Voyager this year screwed a lot of people over. Alameda and Three Arrows, their behavior damaged the markets like hugely as well. These are not small events. Nothing is too big to fail. If your funds are on exchanges, get them the hell off, guys. Be safe with your funds. Be safe with your long-term investments. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.